Okay, so let's go deep on understanding the task mode of shopping, if that's the kind of retail business that you're focused on, the type of customer you're focused on. In task mode, the key things customers value are ease and simplicity. How easy can we make it for our customer to complete their task? So let's go deep on understanding how we can improve the customer experience for task mode shoppers, specifically in physical stores. And we're going to talk about the way that we lay the store out, because what we want to do is create a physical environment that is incredibly easy to shop. It's fast to shop. So a few things we want to think about. Firstly, interestingly, in Australia, when customers walk into stores, they have a natural tendency to turn to the left. And that's because we drive on the left-hand side of the road, and a left-hand turn is an easier turn to make than a right-hand turn. In the States, for example, customers turn to the right. But in Australia, customers turn to the left. So if you're running a fashion store, for example, that serves both men and women, the best practice here is to actually have the men's range to the left of the store, because they're not as confident shopping fashion as women are. So women will overcome slightly more barriers. Now in task mode, it's all about ease and efficiency. So a few things matter here. Firstly, we want to be able to make sense of the store really quickly and really easily. So macro category signage is really important. If I'm looking to shop a certain category, I want to know that I'm generally walking in this direction. And then once I get to that category, I want to be able to have good product signage at that point. So I've arrived in the category and now I'm honing in. So that's signage, but from a layout point of view, there's a couple of interesting things too. Typically for when we're in that efficient, fast shopping mode, we'll tend to design stores with straight lines, hard surfaces, and bright lighting. They give the signals of speed and efficiency. So they're really important in task mode. You think about grocery stores, for example, they fit that bill exactly. And where we want people to slow down, we'll introduce curves, softer finishes, and darker lighting. So we can control the speed at which people shop throughout a physical space. Once customers have found their product, we want to help them get out of the store as quickly and as smoothly as they can. So at that point, we want to know where the checkouts are. We don't want to have big queues, and we want to have really smooth checkouts and transitions on the way out of the store. So for retailers who are serving customers in task mode, it's all about how easy can we make it to get to the product. That could be through signage. It could be through a store layout that features straight lines, hard surfaces, things like that create a sense of speed and ease to navigate. And then we want to make it really easy for them to complete their purchase and have a smooth transaction at the checkout and get out as fast as they can. So now let's talk about how we can optimize our online shopping experience for customers who are in task mode. There are three main things we want to think about here. Number one is load speeds. We want really fast websites. Number two is really clear navigation so that I can find my way through to the product I'm looking for as quickly as possible. And number three, a really great checkout experience. So if we explore each of those topics really quickly, we can think about load speeds. Really interesting, because there's a lot of sort of conventional wisdom that we need really dynamic, really exciting website content, but we've got to be careful that that doesn't slow our website down too much, specifically for people in task mode who want to get to the product as quickly as possible. So fast loading speeds is really critical, particularly if it's a category where someone's going to do a lot of repeat shopping. The next thing we want to talk about is navigation. It's really important that we help people get to their product as quickly as possible, exactly like in a physical store, but we want them to get to their product as quickly as they can. So we want to have really clear category navigation with the sub-headers and sub-drop-downs, which mean I can get to my product as quickly as possible. And then the third thing that's really important is the shopping cart experience at the end, the checkout experience. Ideally, we want as few clicks as possible and as few fields to enter as possible. Obviously, for first-time visitors, they need to fill out all the mandatory information. But for repeat customers, what can we do to hold on to that information and ultimately give them like a one-click checkout experience? There's a lot of theory around abandoned carts, and it's a really good topic to go into a lot more detail on. But one little watch out that I'd offer on abandoned carts is sometimes the statistics can be thrown out a little bit in terms of the rate of abandonment of the cart. And that's because often your customers will use the cart just as a wish list, as a holding pattern for the products that they're considering buying. And then they might check another website quickly and come back to you. It's really important that you've got the technology that can hold on to that shopping cart data so that when customers return, they can have their smooth checkout and get on with their day. Don't be too concerned by the abandoned cart rate. So there's a lot of talk about abandoned carts. There's one thing to keep in mind with this is that very often customers use your shopping cart as like a shortlisting or favorites kind of holding place. So let's talk about an example of task mode shopping online. For example, say we're trying to buy the white t-shirt. I want to arrive onto your site, and first of all, I want to know that I'm in the right place, that you might not show white t-shirts when I first arrive. If you can, that's ideal, but I want to know that I'm at a credible fashion store that's likely to have the white t-shirts. Now, often you'll see exciting content at the top of the page, but more and more you'll see the best retailers moving that to the second priority on the page because people in leisure mode are more likely to make their way to that. But on the landing page, we want to know that you've got the range and that I'm in the right place. So next step then is navigation. I want to know that I can click to my way to t-shirts, I can click my way to white t-shirts in as few clicks as possible, and ultimately that the page is going to load as quickly as possible, especially if I'm going to be clicking through a number of pages to get there. Upload speeds are just critically important. So then I've selected my t-shirts. At that point, it's about the rational information to give me the confidence that I've got the right t-shirt. So sizing information, washing information, the fabrics, the details of the model, what's the model's height, what size is that model wearing, all those sorts of things. Now, at that point, customers will consume the information that's relevant to them. So really, you can put a fair bit of information in that moment, but just signpost the information really well so they can cherry pick their way through the information. At that point, it's an easy click to put it in my cart and we're off and away. I hope you found that helpful. If you'd like any more information, visit Afterpay Access.